I'm Nick, and this is Kenny. We're the Malt Vault. Strap on.
Let's get these beers drank.
Yeah. We are opening up a new beer live here on the Malt Vault Podcast. We have Lake Placid. The beer is the Ubu Ale, which features a nice, beautiful, appears to be a golden retriever on the can. Are you mimicking me?
No, I was trying to see if I could do it.
It's got a nice Adirondack because it's from the Adirondacks. So
I think that's a lab.
that's a nice touch.
I think that's a lab.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I had to guess, I don't think you got to shave that. Well, you don't shave a golden retriever either, do you? They all shed.
I think you could sway me that it's a lab. I thought, because from here it looks like longer hair, so golden, but you could definitely sway me.
I'd say it's a golden lab.
I think you should shave it regardless.
Best of both.
They shed too much. Just shave the dog.
Like a line cut?
What do you mean?
The
No,
Mufasa cut?
like a buzz cut. Shave that fucker down.
Yeah, shave you and the dog that you rode in on. Right?
Small town, big beer. What do you think about that, Kenny? Pretty nostalgic.
Nostalgic doesn't apply there. I'm going to say that it's, I'm not a fan of big beer, so this has to impress.
But it says small town, so how's that tickle your fancy?
You know, you don't try this beer in a small town, is what they mean.
Yeah. Or try it. Try it in a small town
Find out, see how far you make it down the road.
before you need another beer. And it's a 12 ounce, so probably about
That's heavy.
30 feet.
Yeah.
What are we drinking? What is this? Though
This is-
I know what the name is, but what kind of beer is this?
Brown. I feel like brown ale is just a catch-all. Is this a brown ale?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a brown ale.
7%.
So this is heavy.
That's
Established
not,
in 1996. It was actually older than my little brother, born in 97.
Yeah, what an idiot. Wasn't conceived earlier. Sorry, Liam.
Typical fault of the child.
Typical Zoomer.
So the last one that we did from upstate New York was a 3.77 on Untappd. This is a 3.56, but it's got a substantially higher clientele of 102,000 ratings. So
So a lot more people have reviewed
way
this
more
one
popular. Yeah.
than but the last one was also pretty under the radar. This is Lake Placid. I've never seen this. You did not get this in Ohio.
No, I didn't. Got this at the wedding from Albany.
You got this
I
up
got
in New
this
York.
because I got excited because it said Lake Placid on it. And one of Seth's birthday parties in middle school featured Lake Placid. We stayed up late, watched crocodiles kill people. Was it Paxton or Pullman? Bill?
I think it was Paxton.
All right. You want to fact check us on that, Kenny?
Kenny wasn't at the party. Sorry,
Alicia
Kenny.
could look it up for us.
This was one of the parties where I think my mom bought us toilet paper, but we basically toilet papered my neighborhood that night.
I think, didn't we like toilet paper like every house? We like went around and threw like 1 or 2 rolls at every house.
Pullman.
Okay.
Oh, I fucked up. Yeah,
Paxton
it was a something for everyone. We
Twister.
went down my block. We threw a roll. Everyone gets a roll.
So Lake Placid is this a lake in New York?
Yeah. Do you remember the famous
1980s.
Olympics?
Well,
Olympic?
the reason I'm asking is because I pulled up Lake Placid on IMDb to see if it was Bill Pullman or Bill Paxton. It is Bill Pullman. The movie's called Lake Placid.
Yep.
I might crush your dream here a little bit on this beer. 3 people attempt to stop a gigantic crocodile who is terrorizing residents in Black Lake, Maine.
So it was in Maine.
So they're not even in Lake Placid.
yeah, but
Wait, what?
That's what it says on IMDb.
I
don't
gotta
know.
get everybody from my 7th grade birthday party together and tell them that we've all been fed a lie.
Land party.
Why is it titled? Yeah, we'll have to look up. Let's keep moving, but I'll look up why it's called Lake Placid.
Jesus, I gotta get Seth Hildebrand on the line.
He was there?
Yeah.
If Seth Hildebrand was there, it was definitely middle school because he did not come to our school until 6th grade.
Yeah. One of them.
Because I remember he was in our sex ed class in 6th grade.
I got a sex ed story.
All right.
You guys, I don't know if you're ready for this.
Hit us with some knowledge.
I'm not going to name the name.
Hit him up with style,
Yeah,
Seth.
hey, ladies. But yeah, you know, in sex ed, they were showing you all the things to be scared of for
Appendages.
STDs.
Vulvas.
Yeah, those words, vas deferens, shit like that. So they
Peens.
they were like going through the slideshow. They showed a picture of some dude's penis.
Dong.
Sure, whatever you want to call it. Dong.
Cash and prizes.
All of it was included. And it was a guy with an STD.
Oh, God.
Gonorrhea. And this kid in our class raises his hand and was like, oh, so it turns your penis black? And the lady was like, that's a black man. And there's just stunned silence for...
That's an epic question to ask the teacher.
And nobody in my life has ever brought this up again. I brought it up like 10 times. No one's corroborated my story. This happened. I was there.
That's a fantastic question.
Yeah. I was like, dude, I want to have one of those.
Oh, one of what you saw?
Barry Wood.
Yeah. I'll take what I can get at this point.
Yeah, I get it.
Anyway, so sex ed. Moving on.
The movie's name, it turns out, is not even the name of the lake featured in the movie. Rather, it is set on a fictional lake in Maine named Black Lake.
That's horse shit.
So why name it? I still don't. I'm gonna have to visit another site, but the movie title refers to one of the early scenes in the movie when the sheriff says they wanted to call it Lake Placid, but that name was taken. They had the working title Lake Placid, but then they couldn't because like maybe New York fought back and said we don't want everyone to think our lake is full of alligators or crocodiles.
Yeah, I think it was massive.
They named the movie that, but they couldn't say it
They
in
couldn't
the
call the lake
movie.
in the movie Lake Placid. So I don't know.
That's like naming a movie Earth and then shooting it on Mars.
This is why we're here.
Why?
To inform you.
They don't give a fuck.
They do.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, you're right.
And of course, the Reddit thread on it just goes completely bonkers way before you can get any kind of semblance of answer. So
How many of those commenters do you think were at my birthday party? Probably a lot. And probably more that wish they would have been there.
6%?
I was thinking that when you said we got to get the 7th grade crew back together, I thought you were instantly going to say LAN party for Halo.
BDFB.
We got to make that happen. The old Big Dick from Boston.
I still do use... So I bought like a LAN party kit that came with a switch.
Or is it just a 5-port switch?
No, it's... Well, yeah. No, it's a 4-port switch because it doesn't have a WAN port. And it came with 4 like super green cables. I still use those cables at work. I take them to Michigan with me. I'm like, do not lose this. This is a Halo 2001 original.
OG. Do you still have your OG Xbox?
No.
Do you?
No, I don't have a 3.
You have the original Xbox?
I don't.
You still got FIFA Street, though.
FIFA Street.
Don't sell that without letting me know. I'll buy it from you.
Listen, the funny thing about this beer... And
That's... Wait, hold on. Funny thing... Nick, that is your catchphrase.
The funny thing is, actually...
The peculiar thing is, and what I think is marketing genius by Lake Placid Brewing, is in their history, they have the short and the long history of them. So they have a short, like, paragraph of their history, and then they have literally, like, 10 paragraphs of, like, their full history. And I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to hear that?
Abridged versus unabridged.
Yeah, I think that's great, because some of our people are like, cut through the bullshit, tell us what was important to you guys, give us a brief synopsis. Some people are like, we want to fucking hear it from start to finish, from the jump all the way to when you're jumping off and pulling ripcord, right?
If I could, this is if you could cut the Bible down to one book. What's the one book in the Bible that you would just need?
Gone with the Wind.
That is not a book in the Bible.
Well, the answer to that question is actually 4 questions. I don't know. But you'd say the gospel, right, which is 4 books, but I don't know. That's a hard question.
Yeah,
We'll think on it.
Yeah, ponder that.
We'll circle back on our...
We want to hear from you. What book would you choose for the Bible?
Oh, okay. We won't circle back because you'll tell us in the comments that you don't comment on. Yeah, this is case closed.
Maybe you will. Maybe you'll surprise us all. Maybe we mean something to you.
No, there's no one there.
Is this like prayer? Nick, are you talking to God?
Ricky King?
God, if you're there, comment, please.
This is God speaking to you.
They make about 350,000 pints of beer annually. And they're in the
Wait,
top. They're in
hold
the
on.
top 7% of brew pubs nationwide.
Hold on, 350,000 pints?
Yes,
That's
So
not
beers.
a lot. That's low.
but they're in the top 7% of brew pubs.
What does that mean? What brew pubs? Sales?
Yeah,
Volume?
I guess volume probably.
Visitors?
They say that right after they say 350,000 pints of beer. So
That's
I
not
would
that many
assume-
pints.
Yeah.
Hold on. How many pints are in a...
Why is top 7% a number?
Okay, so 1 barrel of beer has 250 pints.
Wait, did you say why is top 7%?
Like that's
Because they're in 7%.
Yeah, I know that, but what I'm saying is like, why? How is 300? If
350,000 pints a year.
Yeah,
Is that an imperial unit?
They only sell 1,411 barrels of beer. That's 2,800 kegs of beer. That's
I think the problem is
that's not a lot
what
of
I'm
beer.
reading here is that over the years they've brewed over 150 different type of styles of beer. Maybe they're just too diverse in their inventory. That
I think
maybe
they're just. I don't have a problem. I like this beer. I think
how
they're
is
just
that
too-
amount of barrels in the top 7%? That's crazy to me.
No,
then.
brew pubs. That's why when you say the top 7% of brew pubs, what does that mean? Maybe they have the
You
most
wanna look up
visitors
what a
because they have a great sandwich. I don't know. We're in the top 7% of podcasts. What does that mean?
We spent the most money.
Yeah, we have.
We have definitely spent top 7%.
Like we're the
By we, you mean you.
We're the brightest podcast because we have the brightest lights shining. No, this is good. I like this. You said this is called a brown ale, is what this is distinguished as, but we don't
They have
know
a
what that
pumpkin
is.
that I wish I would have gotten.
Did they have it at the store?
They didn't.
Well,
I got
then
it in August.
You
so.
can't wish you got it because they didn't have it.
turning
Well,
those,
I do have a lot of family in New York. Maybe they could ship us some pumpkin.
Yeah, turning those Cinderellas into pumpkins, if you know what I mean.
Pumpkins into caskets.
They're more Prince Charmings because they're men.
chariots, not caskets.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I could definitely reach out because I would love to try their pumpkin because we're
What the
we're
fuck?
all about pumpkin beers. on
what do
this
you mean
podcast.
reach out? They're gonna ship you this shit?
Yeah,
No, they're not.
my cousin Scott would absolutely ship this, and I know my cousin Mike absolutely would.
All right,
had a-
Manchester.
I'll reach out to him and ask.
I had a
reach
guy-
around to him.
I had a guy on our Instagram say he would ship us beer.
Yeah, that worked
Yeah.
out very nicely for us.
Was that the guy from Guinness?
No, I'm not prepared for that.
Let's get Kenny all hot and bothered.
I'm not hot and bothered. I'm not prepared
All
for
right,
it though.
let me lead the listeners in on this one. We're trying to run back a rivalry with a fellow Irish scholar that Kenny was
Got a lot of crests.
sort of dueling with in
Not a lot of
terms.
breasts.
I don't remember his name. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah. Anyway, we're trying to run back this rivalry. So if you could support Kenny, tell him some good things about him, and that he's way ahead, head and shoulders above this Irish guy, that would mean the world to us. Go ahead and get it done.
Paul
Oh, something.
McCotter,
Makata.
which is probably just Paul McCotter. If you're a longtime listener, you might remember we did a segment on Guinness at one point, and there was some back and forth about Nick saying Guinness may have kept their headquarters in London at one point, and I had said that was pretty sure that Guinness was always headquartered in Ireland. So I found the gentleman that I'm sorry, I'm not prepared for this, so I'm kind of going off the
Cuff's fine.
No, we
cuff.
like your emotion. Give it to us. You're raw.
This isn't emotion. This is me trying to recollect. Nick had mentioned he had cited his source as a gentleman's actual research paper that he had spoke on the Guinness family leaving Ireland and moving to the United Kingdom, London specifically. And I emailed this gentleman and said, "Hello, Paul. Was recently reading an article on your website regarding the history of Guinness and the Guinness family in particular. Your statement about the Guinness headquarters moving to London is as follows. Your quote, however, as a result of the Irish War of Independence, the Guinness family as Unionists opposed Ireland's fight for freedom and moved their headquarters from Dublin to London where it remains today."
Nick, you can't breathe into the mic. That doesn't
Sorry,
work.
my bad.
I said to Paul, "I was hoping you could clarify that further, as I and many others are under the impression the Guinness Brewery has always found itself at home in Dublin. Have we unmasked a conspiracy of some sorts, or am I just a simple, uneducated American?" Sláinte, Ken Rich, the Malt Vault Podcast. Paul, typical Paul fashion.
Pompous Paul.
All he replied back was, whereas the brewery remained in Dublin, its commercial headquarters moved to London and has never returned.
Alicia, fly this man out here. We will fight him mano-a-mano, single combat, Kenny versus Paul.
Now, I
Run
will
it.
say he did sign this off with
Did he
his
send you his 10 crests?
his what accolades, I guess you would call them, after his signature were longer than the actual email. Dr. Paul McCotter, member, accredited genealogists of Ireland, School of History, University College of Cork, School of Adult and Continuing Education, University College of Cork, with multiple websites referencing his accolades.
Sounds like Paul has a big head.
in a bigger signature, if you will. That was the essence of the feud. Yeah, I want to catch Paul outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I bet he'll catch those hands. Paul sounds like a logistician, you know.
No, he's actually.
Do we want to set betting odds on what Paul looks like? Do you think that he is under 5'5" and redheaded?
He's not.
Does he wear a beard? What do you think?
You're describing a leprechaun.
I said 5'5". Technically, a leprechaun's under like 2 foot.
I think he looks like a member of the accredited genealogists of Ireland.
I bet if I were to wager, he's just a normal guy who doesn't have time for our bullshit. Probably that. But I still would like to see some sort of altercation between him and Kenneth.
Why do you guys say stuff like that?
He had an opportunity to educate a simple American, though.
Educated our simple asses.
He failed.
I bet he goes ass first if somebody asks for it. If somebody asked for it.
I bet he goes ass first if no one asked for it. Did we get some questions? Should we get to that yet?
A few moments later.
I'm gonna eat your ass first.
I hope you do.
You don't have to. You don't even have to ask me to go ass first. I'll do it.
Take the left cheek. I'm a left hip dominant.
Yeah, I can tell your spine is lined incorrectly.
That's the sickest burn I've ever heard. You look like you got sclerosis.
Of the liver. Oh, wait, that's cirrhosis.
Jesus Christ.
I'm joking.
No, you're not. You said the wrong word. That's not joking.
No, I made it up.
You didn't make up. You made up cirrhosis?
Nick,
You're crazy.
I'm getting you a fucking latent abortion for what you're saying right now. All right.
Situation coming in.
This is
DIY.
Specifically, Nick. All right. Just shut the fuck up for a second. Addressed to Nick Flair, which in itself is hilarious. And the context is Liam told me to send you some shit for the podcast. And you guys would say, how many beers? Figured this may give you guys some content. All right. So here we go. I moved jobs/cities recently and living with the in-laws. Okay. So we moved in with the in-laws to save up for a house. About got enough saved up, but now waiting on woman to decide what career path she wants to go down after some decent opportunities so we can set an actual budget. Wondering how long I'm going to be stuck here. How many beers? So how many beers is it going to take this guy to get out of this situation?
Is this specifically for Nick?
Well, it was addressed to Nick Flair, so maybe he goes first.
You can go first, Nick. I got a lot to say.
Mr. Flair.
How many beers to get out of the situation or to be okay with the situation? Can you give me some context?
No.
All right. So if we're looking at how many beers to be okay with the situation, I think you pack those on a case at a time once a month, share it with her. And then I think that if you're trying to do it all at once, you're not looking at beer, my friend. You're looking at a Shotsky.
Okay, is that it? Yeah, looks like it. Over to Kenny.
Okay. So he's saving up for a house.
Right. Moved to a new city.
Yeah.
In-laws. Moved in with the in-laws.
Yeah. So I had my wife move in with the in-laws when we were building our house. And it was my parents. There's not enough alcohol that you could get to make it happen. You're living with her parents, and now she's deciding to further that, right? They said that he has almost enough saved, but
yeah, it sounds
now
like
she's deciding she might make a career change where it could potentially push it further.
Ambivalence towards, career.
So if she's enjoying where she's staying, she's got to make it worth your while.
Yeah, but it's her parents, right?
Right.
So she probably doesn't.
So she might be comfortable there.
Right.
I think he's on the same page. I think you're on the same page as me.
But alcohol-wise, no one judges you with how much you drink living with your in-laws. Like, I would say. I'd say there's no answer to how much you need to drink living with in-laws. So Katie and my wife and I, who remain nameless.
Mrs. Pack.
Remain nameless.
Katie.
We lived with my parents for a while, but there may have been some jealousies of her parents that we didn't live with them. So we moved in with them for 2 weeks before our house was finished. And I'm glad I worked nights during that time because no judgment on any alcohol you need to consume while you're living with your in-laws. And I think that comes from anybody of any living standard. Unlimited beers for you, sir.
So I agree. I concur. He put it a lot better than I did.
Stand up for yourself. Don't be ashamed. Don't be hiding in your room drinking beer. You're living with your in-laws.
This can't be about my brother because he lives with his girlfriend or fiance or whatever she
Well,
is.
we're not going to dime anybody out.
You can be polite.
No, we'll dime out the flying tomato. He's my brother. It is my responsibility as 10 years older than him, his senior, to...
You can be polite with your in-laws, and that's fantastic. If you need to have 5 beers to do that every night, no judgment from us.
Yeah, we're all down for it. We're here for beer.
So speaking of
We're here for beer.
drinking beers in bedrooms, what's the policy on that?
When you live with your in-laws, your bedroom is your living room, though.
That is true.
Because I did that. That becomes your house because they're in your. You can't go down in the living room and hang out with, again, it was my parents that I lived with for the most part. But hold on,
Nick has his hand raised.
I'll wait.
I'll cut to him for the camera.
if you're living with one of your parents, your bedroom becomes your living room. So yeah, drinking in the bedroom is a definite.
Yeah, fellow Malter. He signed it fellow Malter. Fellow Malter is always drinking the bedroom.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's no shame in that.
No.
My question to you is, did you or did you not, in fact, when you lived at the sex house, have a mini fridge in your room when you had autonomy?
First of all, clarify what the sex house is.
John Snyder's house.
Let's clear this up. I've had a mini fridge in my bedroom from 18 until I moved into this house. And yes, it did, for the most part, usually have beer in it.
If you have a mini fridge with beer,
Yeah.
when you're not living with your parents or in-laws as a married or engaged lover, or compared to when you're married living with an in-law, is there a difference? Because I've never had a mini fridge in my bedroom.
Yeah, I'd say living with in-laws or your parents, having beer in your room is probably a necessity.
What about when you're not?
Reserve a college move. That's a college move, I believe.
It's a young and dumb situation.
Yeah, if you just have a refrigerator in your bedroom as an adult with nobody else in your house,
Sex house.
that's odd.
Yeah. Now that I have my own house, there's no refrigerator in my bedroom. And I will walk into the kitchen with no pants on and get my own damn beer.
And
Well, right now, the
Kids
beer's
be
in
damned.
the beer's in the garage beer fridge, so I'll walk my ass bare into the garage.
oh, nobody's debating that, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, nope.
do you feel a sense of like,
I guess I'm confused by the question phrasing.
okay, do you feel a sense of pride or
Yes.
embarrassment by getting beer out of your fridge
I'm
when you're
never
in college
embarrassed.
age or not with your parents
Never.
or in-laws?
Never embarrassment.
Okay, well,
Never be embarrassed to get
I
a beer out of
digress.
your fridge.
Nick, have you been embarrassed by procuring a beer from a fridge in front of your parents?
yes.
What did they do to you?
Nothing, but just the looks are aggressive.
Tantalizing.
Did you pull out an import and they were like, we only do domestics here? What was the
No,
deal?
it was just like, you're going to have another.
Wait, at that point, how many previous had you had where they didn't judge you?
He's army crawling to the mini fridge.
He's like, it's only 11, Mom.
AM, and I've
Why'd
only
you
had
choose
10
Mom?
beers.
Because your dad was editing photos in the basement, and I know you weren't down there. There's no fridge down there.
Because your dad is not judging you on getting another beer.
That is probably factual. I don't know, 3 or 4. Like 1 or 2 was acceptable. After that's like, are you sure you should be drinking more?
So who's the most
Don't make me ponder moral ambiguity.
who's the most angry in your family about you drinking your beers?
Is that even a question?
The answer is Nick.
Is it you? You're a self-loathing beer drinker?
No.
You hang out with an apple.
Who do you
loves
think in my
self-loathing?
family gets more upset of the multitude of beers that I would consume? Take a guess.
Macy.
No, she doesn't give a shit. She knows that I'm responsible.
Maylee.
Yeah, that's who. The one that goes out to the garage to get me a beer. She's the one. Dad, this is 5.
What's your dog's name?
Sydney.
Crosby.
Sid.
No, it's my mom. Dude, it's obvious. Who is the one person that would get annoyed that I would drink beer
Bill Pullman.
multiple times? Yeah, Bill Pullman.
Paxton.
I feel like we're making.
Paxton from Twister.
I feel like we're
Helen
making.
Hunt.
I feel like we're making great strides here. Helen Keller.
I don't think I've ever seen your mom drink a beer.
What?
Yeah.
No. She's drank plenty of beer. She's just she used to do Seagram's and 7 and 7. So like a Seagram's and then a 7-Up.
Yeah, I know.
That was her go-to. Yeah, I know, but she didn't drink beer.
So.
So what I said was correct.
So.
She's
so,
drank beer.
So, if the person who asked us for advice is still listening, just drink beer at your in-laws' house. I do feel the discomfort sometimes. I get it. Usually when we show up for family events, I'm the only one they buy beer for. They're like, Kenny, we got you beer. And I'm like, thanks.
I feel like this question is baiting us to.
I feel like this question has been fully exhausted and then twisted and warped. And this person who asked it is like, God, I regret asking this.
Yeah, but I feel like they're also baiting us to make them feel better about themselves, the fact that they hate their in-laws.
Everybody.
I like my in-laws.
Fantastic.
Well, you're not married. Boom, got him. Technicality.
Technical.
If this was circa 1990, I would have a common law marriage, so I'd have in-laws.
What's the next question?
Yeah.
The next question is, Nick, when are you getting married? I want to go to a wedding.
Macy, if you're watching this, you probably aren't.
You 100% are not.
Yeah.
You value your time.
I'll get married in a cornfield. If that I can have family and friends that I care about.
It's not a date.
What?
That's not a date. He said when, not where.
No, I thought he said, are you going to get married?
No, he said when.
Oh, I would. That's a great question. I'll ask her.
I get married.
You already did. I'll ask her.
No, I'll ask her when.
I like this.
We've never set a date. We were talking about dates, and then Maylee was diagnosed with cancer, and then we kind of put it on the back burner.
You're like,
and
Seth.
then it never got put on the front burner.
Seth, thanks for asking me that. I've never thought about a date after being engaged for 9 years.
I just want to give you your wedding present.
I know. Guys, I appreciate it.
This
is not like a let's make Nick fall down the pit of despair because I'm not married. I get it. I feel married.
Hey, if you get married in a cornfield, I'll bring Little Kings. Right? Because
some bar backs,
I've heard that
beer
people
backs.
have been drinking that in cornfields.
I'll bring corn whiskey.
All right. I'm down.
I'll bring-
I'm down for anything. At this point, I'm down for anything.
I'll bring corn to a cornfield. I don't give a fuck.
No,
Seems a
you
bit
don't
redundant.
need.
It seems a
you
bit
know how
redundant.
cornfields work?
Seems a bit redundant.
That's if anything. That's the one thing you don't need to bring.
We should make a list. Things not needed for a cornfield.
Corn and fields. Don't bring either one.
Those are my top two. So I'm out.
Like if you bring Justin Fields, you better leave.
You
half
better
of
be
them
there.
at home, right?
I'm getting married in cornfield, Seth. You better be there. You.
but that's the
Better
only
reading
way you're
Don't
there.
kill myself books.
Somebody's
You know?
line's buzzing.
Not me.
We got a hot line here.
Like
60 hertz coming through.
Oh, that must be all these comments coming in. Seems we struck a nerve.
Nick, god damn it. If you do one more fucking noise,
Seems we struck a nerve.
we're going to stop simply due to
the fact
noises.
that Seth wants to kill me.
coming through. And yeah, if Nick makes one more noise,
The buzzing noise.
I don't hear it.
how do you not? It's definitely going to you.
It's something.
Nick's ears have been smoked from years of Best Buy van stuff. All right, we're done.
Not me.
End it.
Thanks a lot.